my name's Jilly and I'm on Atkins. Today I'm going to be making for you a low-carb Gajar Halwa. Gajar Halwa is an Indian carrot pudding which is made using grated carrot and milk. Now traditionally this takes hours to make as you have to wait for all of the milk to completely get soaked up by the carrot. However, I was told by a man in an Indian restaurant that they tend to cheat by using milk powder instead. Now, as we're on Atkins, of course, using milk would be high carb because it has lactose in it. So instead, I'm going to use soya milk. So what I have here is 1 portion's worth to make this nice and quick for you. So I grated up 1 carrot very finely and I dry fried that slightly just to dry the carrot out. And to that I've added 3 large tablespoons of soya milk and I've left this to simmer for about 10 minutes. So now part of the milk, not all of it, has been soaked up by the carrot. And when this has been completely soaked up is when we can add the rest of our ingredients. Now traditionally in Indian cuisine they would use ghee to make this, which is a clarified butter. But to keep this low on calories, I'm just going to use a standard butter which is mixed with vegetable oils, and I use Lurpak Lightest. And for the spices, usually you would use cardamom seeds and saffron, but I've tried making this using that, and I've also tried using a more English kind of spice mix of cinnamon, nutmeg and ginger. And actually I quite like mixing all of these together. So for this version I'm going to use the Indian spices of cardamom and saffron along with the English spices. And also I'm going to be adding some mixed raisins which I have left to soak in water for about 15 minutes and then drained. If you're on one of the earlier stages of Atkins, you can of course omit the raisins because they are full of natural sugars. Okay, so I think I'm ready to add my ingredients. So I'm going to add 1 large teaspoon of my butter, my spice mix, which also has a couple of teaspoons of Splenda in it. Now you don't need much Splenda as the carrot is already very sweet. In that all goes. My raisins, and I've used mixed raisins so that I can get lots of different colours in there. And I'm also going to add a few flaked almonds. You can, if you want, instead of using almonds, you could use chopped up cashew nuts or pistachio nuts, which give a lovely green colour. And then you want to stir this all together. The butter should help bring the carrot all together so it gets into quite a sticky texture. I can smell all of the spices. It smells beautiful. And you may find you want to bring your heat up. Now this can be eaten hot or cold. You can eat it straight away in the bowl after you've taken it out of the pan. And it'll be nice and warm, served with a bit of yogurt or cream. Or you can let it cool and eat it cold. And actually the longer you leave it, the better it will taste, because the greater the flavours will be and the nicer the texture. If you leave it in the fridge, you can keep it for up to a week, and it will just get firmer and more like a sweet rather than a pudding. And in India, they tend to eat it in smaller cubes, and it is treated as a sweet because it is so high in fat and so high in sugar. But because I've used the lighter butter and I've used Splenda and soya milk, it's much lighter pudding, so you can eat more of it. And because it's a carrot, you could say this is one of your 5 a day. So when all the milk and butter has sort of mixed together with the carrot and it makes one solid mixture, then it's ready. The raisins should be nice and plump and fat so they just burst in your mouth. Okay, so I shall serve this now. And there we go. If you want to, you can garnish this with a few more nuts, such as your cashews or pistachio nuts or your flaked almonds. And there you go, a traditional Indian dessert made suitable for a low-carb diet.